Hey Jennifer, got a sec? There's something I've been wanting to chat with you about. So, have you had a chance to think more about what we discussed earlier? Just wondering because I'm still waiting on your answer.
Oops, my bad. What was it we were talking about again? Honestly, it's slipping my mind right now and I can't seem to recall.
Hey, no need to play dumb, young lady. You know exactly what I'm referring to. I'm talking about that conversation we had the other day, remember? The one about me coming to live with you and Christopher. That's the talk I'm talking about for sure.
Oh, right. That. I'm sorry, but I thought we already covered all of that. And I thought I made myself clear that the answer is no. You can't come live with us.
Ugh, you're really laying it on thick, aren't you? Why do you have to be so stubborn all the time? Is the thought of having me around really that awful to you? Do you seriously hate me that much? How about we give it a shot and all live together for a week, huh? Let's see how it goes. Don't you think some of these fears might just be in your head? I bet it won't be half as bad as you're making it out to be.
What? Alexia, no way. I definitely don't hate you or anything like that. It's just that I think having 3 people crammed into one space could be pretty challenging, you know? Plus, we all have different schedules and routines. So there would always be someone making noise and keeping the rest of us up.
But you wouldn't have to worry about that at all. After all, I know what you do most of your work at night, right? And then you sleep in the daytime. But if I lived with you guys, then I could take care of all the housework in the afternoon and you could wake up to clean house and everything. You see? It's a win-win for everyone.
Well, the thing is that Christopher and I already split the housework, and there really isn't that much to do anyways. So I don't think we would really get that much out of a third person contributing.
My daughter, Angela, moved out and my husband died not so long ago. It gets so lonely living all by myself.
I understand, Alexia, and I'm sorry that things are feeling really hard for you right now. I truly am, but I just can't see it working out well.
Well, it's not just about feeling lonely. A lot of nights I'm actually scared too. I mean, I'm getting up there in age and living alone makes me worry. What am I supposed to do if some burglar decides to show up or something? I'd be completely defenseless. And what if I had a fall and there was nobody around to call an ambulance for me? These are the kinds of fears that keep me up at night. And I know you might not fully get it since you're still young, but they're very real and they frighten me on a daily basis.
Alexia, I really am sorry that you are feeling this way about your situation right now. But if you are really that worried about living alone, then why not talk to Angela about moving in with her?
Oh no, I could never live with that girl. We really don't get along. If we're together for long stretches of time, and did you know that she told me that she doesn't even want to get married? I think I would be much happier living with you two than her.
Well, I won't lie. That does very much sound like the Angela I know. But even so, I'm sorry, Alexia.
Well, please, can you just think about it one more time? If you're worried about how I will pay for myself, I still have lots of money left in savings, so there's nothing to be concerned about there. Just please talk to him about it one more time for me. Okay, thank you. Bye-bye.
Alexia, I'm sorry, but you can't just ask that of me and leave.
Jennifer, I just got a text from Christopher, and honestly, I'm super confused right now. He straight up told me that he still doesn't want me to move in with you guys. I gotta ask, why didn't you try to persuade him to change his mind? I mean, that's what I asked you to do, right?
I didn't try to convince him of anything. I already told you the other day that the answer was no. But didn't Christopher tell you that we talked it over again anyways, and the answer was still the same? By the way, just what exactly did Christopher say to you when you two talked about it?
Well, you're not going to believe this, but he told me that if I moved in with you two, it would just be a burden on you. Isn't that ridiculous? He said that I never clean up after myself and doubted that I would do any housework if I moved in. Honestly, that boy can be such a brat sometimes. Don't you think that was such a mean thing to say? I know that you don't really feel that way about me though, right?
Look, Alexia, I'm going to level with you. I don't really like the idea of living with my husband and his mom at all. It just really bothers me, and I know that I would not enjoy it as much as you say I would. Or at all, for that matter.
Jennifer, the truth is, of course I want to move in to be closer to my son, but I also want to move in so that we can become better friends as well. Honestly, how much longer do you think I even have left on this earth?
Okay, Alexia. I think you're being a little overdramatic with this old woman talk. I mean, you are only 50 years old. That is middle-aged at best by today's standards.
But one day, I won't be healthy, and then who knows what will happen to me? Who knows how much longer I will last after that? I mean, my husband wasn't much older than me when he suddenly passed. What if that happens to me?
You're right, Alexia. I'm sorry. I didn't mean to be insensitive about Robert's passing.
So, you'll change your mind then? You'll think again about letting me live with you and Christopher? Then if you two have kids and one of you are sick, I'll be there to take care of them while you're bedridden.
Alexia, please. I really feel like you are just not listening to me. I really appreciate all the help that you were offering us, but the answer is still no. And just so you know, the answer would be the same even if we were to have kids. In that case, I would quit my job and stay home and take care of them while Christopher would continue to work. Christopher and I have already agreed on all of this and do not plan on changing our minds anytime soon.
When you marry someone, your spouse's parents are no longer just their parents, they become your parents too. I didn't just raise my son, I became your mother the moment you said I do to him. Do you really think you could have married my Christopher without my explicit permission?
Well, even if you had said no, I can guarantee you that it would not have stopped Christopher and I from marrying each other.
You don't know anything. You owe your marriage to me. Do you really have no intention of paying me back for all I've done for you two? Christopher is my oldest child. It is only natural that he should be the one to take care of me in my sunset years. That's right. So if you don't tell Christopher that he'd better let me live with the two of you right away, then I'll cut him off. I'll never speak to him again. How do you like that, huh?
Obviously, I don't want that to happen. But the decision to do that is ultimately yours at the end of the day, so...
Fine. Have it your way then. From now on, you two are never going to be hearing from me and have access to my help ever again. And no matter how desperate and terrible things become for you, I'm never going to lift even a finger to help the two of you out whatever situation you might be in. And you can consider yourselves out of my will as well. Hello? I'm terribly sorry to message you like this suddenly. This is the number for Jennifer Johnson, correct?
Sorry. Is this Alexia? Is something the matter? Why are you talking to me like that?
Again, terribly sorry to be messaging you like this. Yes, this is the number for Alexia Johnson's phone number. But my name is Benjamin Thompson. I am a lawyer hired by Miss Johnson.
Sorry, what? I don't understand. You're a lawyer she hired? Texting me through her phone? What is this all about?
I've come to deliver a message to you in place of Miss Johnson. She's told me that lately you've been acting very unstable, and she fears that if she were to contact you directly, that it might result in some kind of violent action being taken against her by you.
I'm sorry. She said what about me?
That is why I am using Mrs. Johnson's phone to contact you in her stead. Please understand.
Look, I really don't understand if I'm being honest. This whole thing seems pretty ridiculous. But okay, supposing that you are a real lawyer, I imagine there are much better less unusual ways to contact someone. No? For example, you could come directly to my house or call me from a number from your own office, right? Why do you have to message me from Alexia's phone?
Well, yes, there are those ways that could have contacted you. But since Mrs. Johnson was worried about any violence you might have taken on her, we decided it best to reach out to you through her phone. She thought it would be the safest method to talk to you since you would not have access to my workplace or phone number.
So, you're a lawyer, but you are going to refuse to tell me where your office is or show any kind of proof that you are who you say you are? Am I getting that right?
Please, ma'am, I'm only here for a messenger as Miss Johnson. If you do not allow me to present my case to you, then I'm afraid that I'll have to pursue further legal action against you.
Further? What are you even talking about? This is silly, but okay. Sure, go for it. Say what you have to say.
To establish the fact before presenting any further, is it correct to say that you are currently married to and living with Mrs. Johnson's son, Christopher, without her explicit approval of such an arrangement? And is it also true that current house you are living in is one that you and Christopher paid for?
Yes, I guess you could say that. Though, I don't really think those are things that you need someone's permission to do when it comes to the law.
Yes, that is correct. You do not need Mrs. Johnson's permission to buy that house. However, I've been hired to inform you that the current home that you and Christopher Johnson are currently occupying is, in fact, in violation of the city's building code. Are you aware of this fact?
Wait, what? What are you talking about? What violation?
The house is in violation of the city's building code, as I have just stated. Given the fact that living in and maintaining a home in violation of said code comes with legal penalties, I am hereby serving you notice that you, Jennifer Johnson, must vacate your domicile immediately or face further consequences.
What even is this? This is ridiculous. The house plans were inspected before ground was ever broken. I'll humor you though. What part of my house exactly is in violation?
I have evidence of many such violations sitting here before me on my desk.
Okay then. I formally request that you allow me to see your documents for myself.
I'm afraid that without first having your explicit agreement to vacate your home, that I will not be able to show you the countless violations that you are currently guilty of.
So basically, you are asking me to leave my home without first seeing a single shred of evidence for why I should have to? Do you really think that is how the law works? And besides, why are you talking as if I would be the only one required to leave the house?
These are complex legal matters that are best left in the hands of professional lawyers such as myself. Do not question them. As for your inquiry, yes, only you would be required to leave, after which point, Mrs. Johnson will rebuild the house according to city code. To put it in simple terms, you, Jennifer Johnson, are required to vacate the house, which will probably be occupied by Alexia and Christopher Johnson.
And can you tell me just how it ends up with me being the only person made to move out? None of this is making any sense.
If I am understanding the situation correctly, the deed of the house is currently in your name, correct? You will sign over your house to Miss Johnson and vacate the premises immediately, or my firm will be forced to take swift and brutal legal action against you.
And just what might the swift and brutal legal action entail, huh?
You will be forcibly removed from your home by officers of the law.
You do realize that this whole lawyer act you've been putting on is just absolutely ridiculous, don't you?
This is no act. I am very serious lawman, and the law is not to be trifled with. I have been hired by Miss Johnson to protect her interests and the integrity of the law, and I take my job very seriously.
I see. I'm so sure about that.
You are hereby served with a 1-week notice to vacate the premises. If you have not done so in the allocated period, then I will be forced to begin preparations to have you forcibly evicted. Thank you for your cooperation.
I'm sorry, but this whole thing seems a little one-sided to me. Isn't there supposed to be a chance for me to state my case? You can't just say, "Thank you for your cooperation," and disappear.
If you have any qualms about the facts of the matter that I have presented to you here, you are free to bring them up in a court during a civil trial.
Are you seriously trying to challenge me to take this fake lawyer to court? Is that really what you want to have happen?
I am merely informing you of your rights to a fair and impartial trial under the law. Though I feel it is my duty to warn you that cases like these are usually quite long and very costly. After all, the blame for all of this does lie solely on you. It is my professional opinion as a licensed and legitimate lawyer that this is the case that you simply cannot win.
I see. Well, in that case, you do what you have to do, and I will do what I have to do. How does that sound?
Should I present that as your answer to Miss Johnson, then? I am sure that you are quite busy with your work, so please take some time to think about it a bit further on how you would like to respond. And if you change your mind, feel free to get in contact with me at this number.
Hello, I am terribly sorry for messaging you so suddenly. This is the phone from Mrs. Alexia Johnson, correct?
Hello, yes, this is she. Sorry, may I ask who this is messaging me?
Ah, good. Pleased to meet you. My name is Ethan Parker. I am a lawyer hired by my client, Mrs. Jennifer Johnson.
Excuse me? You're a lawyer? Wow, she really did go so far as to hire a lawyer? Nah, no way. I don't believe it. Show me proof that you are who you say, or you are quite wasting my time.
Yes, of course. I am so sorry to bother you. I tried going to your house to speak to you personally, but it appeared that no one was home. I have actually tried calling you several times, but got no answer. However, if you search this phone number, I am sure that you would be able to find my firm. And if you chose to come by, then I would be more than happy to show you my business card.
Wait a second. You came to my house? Are you really a lawyer? And this isn't some kind of joke?
No, ma'am. Here, I will send you a picture of my business card. I hope that serves as enough proof for you.
Wow, so you are a real lawyer. Sorry, I just really didn't think that Jennifer would have gone so far as to hire a lawyer.
Well, if I understand it correctly, you were the first to approach my client with a lawyer that you hired. In fact, that is what I would like to discuss with you today.
Oh, right. So, then what about it? What would a lawyer like you want with me?
Well, I had a couple questions about the lawyer whom you had contacted my client. I was wondering if you might be able to share with me the name of his firm.
Well, I couldn't share information like that with you.
Oh well, may I ask why not?
Why not? My lawyer asked me not to. Lawyer's code or something like that.
Pardon my saying? But I don't think it is that you don't want to tell me. I think it is rather that you can't tell me. The reason for that being because your lawyer doesn't actually exist. Is that correct?
Excuse me? And just what is that supposed to mean? Of course I have a real lawyer. What is this really about? Quit messing with me.
I am sorry, but the only information that you have given about your so-called lawyer is his name. And yet, you can't, or refuse to provide any way to contact him or even where he works. I am sorry to say, but if that is all you can provide, then I do not think that you really have a lawyer at all.
Well, that was just because my lawyer told me that. I didn't have to give anyone that kind of information.
Well, that may be all well and good. But the fact is that a lawyer should not be giving you that kind of legal advice. If a lawyer refuses to show any proof of their certifications, then I really do not think that that is a trustworthy lawyer.
Okay, I've had just about enough of this. Benjamin Thompson is a real and legitimate lawyer. Of course he really exists. I have had just about enough of this silly little game of yours.
I am afraid that this is simply not true. He does not exist.
And just how do you know that? Where is your proof that he doesn't exist?
Well, okay, if you say so. But if he really says that he is a lawyer, then please tell me how I might reach this Mr. Thompson.
But I've already explained to you that I can't do that. I promised him. I just can't.
Mrs. Johnson, are you aware that impersonating a lawyer is against the law and a criminal offense?
What? What are you trying to imply?
I am saying that impersonating a lawyer is against the law and has consequences. And while they may not be as serious as other crimes, the fact of the matter is that it is illegal for someone to pretend to be a lawyer when they are not. Do you need me to explain this to you any further?
Wait a second. Just hold on. Okay, I get it. So I guess the secret is out, huh? You figured out that I was just pretending to be Benjamin Thompson.
Yes, in fact, it was not that difficult to parse out at all, if I am being honest.
But I had a good reason for doing so. This has got to matter, right? Jennifer and my son, they built their house in secret and I felt threatened. Do you understand what I'm saying?
No, sorry. I'm afraid that I'm not really following you.
Well, that's okay. Wait, I got it. What if you become my lawyer instead? I can pay you with the money we get when we sue the pants off of Jennifer. If you help me, I'll promise that I'll make it worth your while. You'll be rich.
I'm afraid that I will have to pass on that offer. I was hired legitimately by Mrs. Johnson and I have no interest in working for a criminal lawyer impersonator such as yourself.
What? Just who do you think you are calling me a criminal?
I am calling you a criminal, of course. And I do plan on reporting you both to the state bar as well as the police.
Okay, wait, please. Just hold on. You don't have to do this. Do you really have to get the police involved? Surely it isn't that serious. I just wanted to scare my daughter-in-law a bit for the way that she and my son were treating me. But I didn't know it was a crime. It was just a big misunderstanding.
I am sorry, but this isn't a problem that will simply go away just because you didn't know that what you were doing was a crime.
Okay, fine. I get it. You drive a hard bargain, but I'll pay you 3 times. 3 times whatever Jennifer is paying you to make this all go away. Then you can come and work for me and we can go after Jennifer together.
I don't want or need your money, Mrs. Johnson, and I certainly will not let by myself be bribed into becoming your lawyer. In fact, I intend to prosecute you to the full extent of the law for what you've done. I will see you in court.
You mean you're gonna sue me? I'm gonna have to go to court. But why? I didn't even do anything really. You stopped me before anything really bad happened.
I heard that you threatened my client with forced eviction from her home under false pretenses of a violated building code. And yet, my client, Mrs. Johnson, tells me that you failed to show any proof of these alleged violations. I'm afraid that in such a case, I am really left with no other choice but to take you to court.
But I'm telling you that there's no need for all this. It's just a misunderstanding. I was only trying to scare her a little. Isn't this all too much? I mean, I don't even know anything about the building code. I was just coming up with something so that I could make her feel a little pressure. Is that really worth taking someone to court?
Well, I can assure you that there are no building code violations whatsoever present in the home of my client. And for your information, typically after a building is completed, it is inspected to make sure that everything is up to code. Then, the owners are given a certification of inspection along with a deed. And that proof includes a date by which they should have their house inspected next.
Well, I don't really know what any of that means. And some help that does me now. What am I even supposed to do with that information? I mean, I don't even care about the building code or anything like that. I was just trying to make Jennifer and my son get a divorce so that I could move in and live with him.
Well, I am afraid that any chance of that happening is well behind you now. I have talked to both Mrs. Johnson and her husband, your son Christopher, and they have both said that in light of all these events, they want to completely cut their ties with you. Of course, it is far beyond the reach of the law to actually enforce something like that. But they have both said that they wish to renounce any inheritance that you might have left for them. They also wished for me to tell you that if they find you near their house, following them in any sort of way, or trying anything like this ever again, that they will file for a restraining order against you.
Wait, please? What did I even do? This is all too much. I mean, honestly, I didn't even do anything. Besides, I'm their mother. They can't just throw me away like this. It's unacceptable. They can't do this to me.
I am merely their lawyer and passing along what they wished for me to tell you. I don't really have any control over the situation at all.
But then, well, can you tell me what is going to happen to me?
Well, you might be arrested for what you've done, or you might get away with justifying. To be honest, I can't give you a clear answer without seeing how the case develops.
You can't be serious. I'm Christopher's mother and Jennifer's mother-in-law. I'm practically her mother too. They can't do this to me.
You keep calling yourself their parent, but I am afraid that even if that were true, that still does not mean that you can do whatever you would like. Even children have rights. And the fact of the matter is that what you did was a crime.
But I didn't know. How could I even know something like that was a crime?
Well, whether or not it will be treated as a crime is ultimately up to the police in the state bar, not myself. But either way, I hope that you can take some time to reflect deeply on what you've done here.
Please, wait. You can't just leave me like this. I'll have nowhere to go. You have to help me.
Alexia was reported to both the police and the state bar. But given that it was only done over messaging and no real harm was ultimately done to anyone, Alexia was let off with a mere warning. The court ultimately decided that Alexia did what she had to do due to the stress she felt from her aging. After hearing about that, however, Alexia's daughter Angela also decided to cut off any contacts with her mother. As for Christopher and I, we followed through with our promise of cutting her off and never had anything to do with her again.